All right, what is up? Welcome to Spoiler Kings. My name is Tank Kramer, Brandman Brandon Grizzly. We got Anzo from Bigger Fort Entertainment joining us, and we're gonna be talking about the finale, the final episode. That's it. It's done. Stranger Things. We're gonna be talking about everything. What we think about it, what we issues, our likes, dislikes. You know, what the internet's talking about. So yeah, because this is what 2 hours, a little bit over 2 hours, right? I believe it was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
2 hours,
just
5 minutes,
under
like
2
that.
hours.
2 hours and 8 minutes.
No,
Or
2 hours,
like that.
7 minutes, 8 minutes.
Yeah. So yeah,
It wasn't long enough. I wanted more. Give me more.
Another episode. Yeah. So, but yeah. Also, shout out to Anzo, like I said, for joining us and talking about this finale. Always appreciate you jumping on, hanging out with us.
I appreciate you guys having me because I debated all day. I'm like, man, I just want to get on here and talk about Stranger Things today. And I was gonna fire up my live stream, and I didn't. I said I'll wait and see if Spoiler Kings are doing something on it tonight, and I'll ask to come on there. So thank you.
Yes, anytime, man, anytime. And then also before we go, make sure you check out Anzo and Brian on the Rewind Saturday mornings on both channels, Big Four Entertainment and Spoiler Kings. So, and you guys get comic books, box office stuff, all the everything. So make sure you check out Saturday mornings on the Rewind. So,
I can't wait to get the Frumley back in action too, man. I can't wait.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So, but yeah, like I said, we're gonna be getting into everything. Yeah, so if you haven't watched it, spoilers, just letting you guys know. But we'll start off with Anzo. What you think about the finale? How'd you like it?
Oh, I know the chat's probably gonna hate me on this one, but no, I absolutely loved it. I thought it was a 10 out of 10. It was perfect. Enjoyed every single minute of it, and I can't wait till we get to start talking about the internet stuff because I think these people did not understand what they watched. I get there are certain things in it that was like, oh, but if you really listen to watch it, we know what happened. So I can't wait to get into that. But I thought it was absolutely the perfect ending for the show. Perfect ending.
Okay. What about you, Brian? What you think about the finale?
I want to be real with you guys, man. I think I'm too much of a fan. I think I'm too much of a fan of Stranger Things to really talk bad about it because I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
I loved all of it. Like I thought it was. I didn't care about wanting more because this is what I got, and I thought the ending or how they ended it was perfect. I was happy with all the stories, even the Batman moment at the end, because that's what it was. This is a Batman moment towards the end of it. I just enjoyed every character. The fact that everyone kind of contributed. I loved how they ended Will. I thought all of it was just good. So, yeah, I have no complaints. None.
Okay. What about you, Brandman? What you think about the finale?
I thought it was awesome. I thought that the I liked how it just kind of jumped how it just kind of dived in head first. I liked the pacing. I thought the 2 hours really worked to its advantage in terms of wrapping up everything. I'm actually kind of happy that they ended up making that decision. That I think that it's very much a textbook example of bringing things full circle. I liked that there was very much a sense of resolution to everything. I even liked that. I even liked the extended, like Lord of the Rings-esque ending, where you think it's gonna end and then it doesn't. But I think, but it worked to its advantage.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the time gap also worked, even though it was kind of frustrating the wait for it. But the Duffer Brothers really did a great job with making it work to the narrative's advantage as well. What else? Yeah, I like that. I like that we essentially got 8 movies.
Pretty much
with this final season. But yeah, I absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
Kind of hit me in the feels at the end when the when the music kind of kicked in, and I liked that the the final scene was them finally finishing their game of Dungeons and Dragons that they never finished from the first episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah. I
Yeah.
got up and paced around at the end.
Yeah.
Did you guys enjoy the Holly thing too? Like the fact that she came in and they were continuing the tradition going forward with the
Oh yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons.
That was such a great way, you know. It's like the old generation, you know, quote unquote, you know, they're only like leaving high school, but they were like, oh, now the younger people are going to take over, and now you have these new things, which is very much this season. You know, it's like, our original cast are too old, so they brought in new kids. But even then, you know, I know that's like early on in the season, but them bringing in the new kids, and I think all the new kids were mostly at least the ones that we knew, you know, we're all cool. Like Derek, like asshole Derek and delightful Derek. Derek is awesome.
I love him.
Yeah, Derek was such an interesting character, but just like them, like all hanging out, I thought was really cool. But yeah, for me, the finale, I was ready to really, you know, poo on it, because the way volume 2 ended, I'm like, you know, what's gonna happen, and plus it's hard to end a show in general, let alone a show that people love. You know, ending a show that people love is really, really hard to do. So I was like, oh, this is gonna be like Game of Thrones kind of thing. And the whole time I'm watching, I'm like, I'm enjoying it. I like it. You know, there's a few things I had an issue with, but nothing that really like took me out. You know, like from beginning to end, I was just like, oh, this is good. And then when it finished, I'm like, I think I liked it, you know, which was a surprise for me, because I didn't think I was. And yeah, I thought everything about it was fitting. The way the show was fitting. I'm glad, you know, no one really died. You know,
I don't know if I'm glad or I didn't care that, you know, that no one that
it made sense, because so many people were like, oh, blah blah blah, needs to die and blah blah blah. I was like, I mean, yeah, if it works for the story, but it depends on what story you're telling. And for me, when they were finishing up their Dungeons and Dragons game, and he had kind of added his like theory of 11, I thought that was perfect. So many people are hating on it. I thought it was
makes
perfect.
so much sense, and then you leave it
perfect.
You leave it as there's not an answer. This is like
exactly,
you know,
exactly.
In the inception moment, like you don't know if it's that way or if it's this way. That's how it should end.
Yeah, because I saw a bunch of people. Go ahead.
No, go ahead first. I'll let you go.
Okay. Yeah, I just saw a bunch of people online. They're like, oh, how does Mike know? How does Mike know? Like, how did he come up with it? I was like, you just gave yourself the answer. How did he come up with it? He doesn't know for sure. This is for him to make himself feel happy. You know, it could be real. You know, it makes sense. You know, like, you know, but he came up with it. You know, he's a storyteller. You know, like he even says it in his, you know, epilogue or whatever, you know. So yeah, I was like, you don't know. And I really, really loved that. I thought it was gonna be like a cheap cop out or something. It made so much sense, and it was so perfect. It was so perfect.
You see, I loved it too, right? And I couldn't, because I watched the video and kept saying that 11 is alive. And I had to write in the comments like, no, we don't know that. Technically, to me, I actually now, and I'm not gonna say like, oh, I know for sure, because the writers could do okie doke and say, yeah, she survived. But the way it was going, the conversations that they had showed me that she actually died. Right? It wouldn't have made sense for Mike to have known she was alive and then have that moment with Harper on the bench. Right? You know she's alive. So why are you having this heartfelt moment about, oh my God, it was child? You know she's alive. So, and then when he's having the conversation about the story, because they call him the storyteller, right? She's like, hey, you're the storyteller. You can edit better than that. So they called him the storyteller. And then he created a story which went exactly with what Harper told. You know, instead of sitting around and wallowing in the decision, you can take the other and accept. And that conversation that he had at the end was his way of accepting. That's the way he called with like that. Now, granted, like I said, that's what I got, but they could say she did survive. They could say that 100%. But to
It's
me, you watch
Batman.
the show, I think, yeah.
Mhm.
It's Batman. It's like when Alfred sees did that
Mhm.
really happen? Is that what's really going on or not? It doesn't matter. We keep it leaving it kind of open ended. Wherever you want to think of it, that's how it is. It doesn't have to be either. Because the truth is, Kylie died, right? So we think we saw her hold her down, and she passed away. So how did Kylie make one more thing? I don't know. But he didn't know that. Mike didn't know that. So that's why, like, it's still up in the air. You don't know exactly how this works. So you either believe that that they faked this whole death thing, or they didn't. So it's one or the other, you know, and it doesn't matter. It's open ended because it's been a long ass show. Let's not just have it being straightforward. Let's enjoy the 9 years that we've had of this, right? Let's enjoy the 5 seasons of it, and let's leave it open in that way. I think I'm okay with it.
Yeah, they even in that conversation around the table playing Dungeons and Dragons, he's like, "I choose to believe," and they all go and they're like, "I believe." So it's like they're telling you this is what they want to believe. If it's real or not, we don't know. We don't know. So it's do you believe? Do you want to believe 11 is alive? Then she's alive. Do you think she's dead? Then she's dead. You know what I mean? It's whatever you want to believe. It's literally a Dungeons and Dragons choose your own ending. You know what I mean? So it's like
exactly a Dungeons and Dragons
choose your own ending.
Choose your own ending.
You know, I mean, and that's the whole one of the big premises about the whole thing. You know, but
And probably the best analogy, like.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that is it. It's Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah,
that's what it is. That's perfect. Exactly what you said, B.
Yeah. So, sorry, before we get going.
That ending.
So got some people saying, Aniqua saying, "I love the ending, had me in tears." Yeah, it was good. I heard a lot of people saying the same thing.
Dude,
you know what had me in tears?
What's that?
I'm like, the whole half of the movie, I'm like, of the show. I'm like, man.
Yeah.
I should be better now. Let me know if I am. But what I really enjoyed, like what had me in tears, was when Elle and Harper had the conversation. She's like, "You are my father, and you did this." I was like, "Oh yeah, I loved that scene."
That was that was a good scene. Or she's like, "Let me choose. Let me choose the right decision." You know what I mean? I was like, "Yeah, you know," and that's like part of being a parent too, because like once your kid gets older, it's like you guided them in hoping that they make the right decision, you know. But at the end of the day, they got to make it, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Tony said I liked it. It was good. Mama Bear saying very satisfying finale.
Yep.
Yep. And then we got Cousin T saying so he said sorry it felt rushed. Where were the Demigorgons? I always thought the Demigorgons were in the Upside Down. We weren't in the Upside Down in the final fight.
That's true. But we also didn't see them with but Vecna wasn't using them because he wasn't really they weren't in the Upside Down. So who is he going to send the Demigorgons against? That's what I thought.
Harper and them though. Harper and them were still in the Upside Down, right? So it could have used I get that 100%. I get the argument for that, but I think it was just about finishing out the story. So I didn't have a problem with that. You know what I mean? Because we've seen them in the Upside Down many times, and there were no Demigorgons. They were walking around there like it was nothing at one point. So I didn't have a problem with that.
I always thought that he was. I'm sorry, B. You should go instead of me. But I always thought that Vecna was in control of the Demigorgons. Like he was literally, he didn't just release them; he was in control of them specifically. So, like, if he's dealing with these 12 kids, these 12 disciple things, right? Like to bring this planet in, I think he had time to be able to split his mind to deal with the Demigorgons too. Because they said the Mind Flayer and Vecna are big one and the same, but you can't split your mind if all these other things are going on. You're focusing on your main task. I didn't think that's why I thought in my mind.
That's
that was my okayness. Like, it makes sense to me.
Yeah. What were we gonna say?
That makes sense too.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, the way that they ended it with Vecna was I thought it was fitting, especially when Jamie Campbell Bower says that it was always him in control. Um
Mm.
we didn't need we didn't need any Demigorgons, I thought, since he was established as the what's the word that I'm looking for? Um that he that it was always him, and yeah, and that
Mm.
that he couldn't be reasoned with.
But wasn't
Yeah.
that cool? Be like the fact that they let the villain stay the villain.
Yes.
That was
Yes.
awesome.
Yeah. Like he chose evil. He chose it wasn't because the whole thing with Will was like, oh, you know, it wasn't you, and he's like, it was
No,
me,
it
man.
was me.
It was me.
Yep.
You know? Which I was like, yeah, you know, but yeah. But even with the Demigorgons too, it's like knowing if you send it, Will's gonna stop it anyway, because he already stopped them. So it's like if I send them out, it's gonna take energy, and Will can just, zap them or whatever he did, So it's like, yeah, the Demigorgon thing I didn't really care about. And then and he said
Nick says what?
biggest complaint was that no one from the main cast died, which didn't bother me. That's what a lot of people. But here's one of the questions I want to ask you guys: are we jaded as movie viewers, where the only time we can get drama or like a satisfying ending is when the characters need to mourn for a death? Are we jaded in that kind of sense of like someone needs to die for it to be satisfying?
Anzo, you can
Wait.
answer that first.
What do you think, Aldo?
I told Terrence about 2 nights ago that I didn't think anybody was gonna die. I just had this feeling that they were gonna give all the kids a happy ending, and I was okay with that. You know what I mean? I was like, yeah, if you're gonna give happy endings, I don't mind that. So I do agree with you. I think that we can be, someone should have died. But it makes sense for the story that they all got their happy end, right? With all the stuff that they went through 5 seasons, I'm okay with them getting the happy ending. Plus, we Welcome to Derry, and they killed Rich in that show, so we already got a death in one of these shows. It's okay for it to have been different.
Richie.
Yeah.
I think that I think that I think that we're so used to franchises at this point with main characters being so expendable now. I always think of there's a line in Scream 6 that kind of talks about that like we're so used to franchises kind of just continuing episodic installments just to like boost an IP, which by proxy means that main characters are expendable. I think they mentioned Laurie Strode, Nancy Thompson, Jigsaw, Tony Stark, even James Bond died. But I think we've kind of gotten a little too used to and comfortable with that. So to see them kind of break away from that, especially in the case of Stranger Things, where I'm pretty much attached in some way, shape, or form to all the characters, I was relieved that that everyone walked away in one piece.
Okay. What do you think, Brian?
For me, I don't know. I feel like we did get death, right? Because in my mind, 11's still dead.
Me too.
Like they have this maybe she isn't, but the truth is she's dead. Like we have no idea that she's actually alive, because if she was alive, why wouldn't she try to figure out a way to come see Mike? And they're gonna be like, it made no sense, or contact him in some way. How would the government know anything about that? So in my mind, she really is dead. So I think we got 11 dead. We got 8 dead, right? That died. We got Vecna die. Why would I need the ancillary people to die? Like those are, if they're the main characters, like I don't need Dustin to die. Like I don't need any of them, to really die. And I for damn sure don't need the black guy to die. Like it's like there's no need. And I thought that we had the right amount of life. I thought they had happy endings that they deserved. That is what sometimes matters, and I think that gives you. It wasn't a Hallmark ending, because at the end of the day, we still had people that had problems that still had to die, you know, that still had to mourn. Will is mourning, like I mean, Will was pretty okay. Will had to deal with all this stuff, but I just feel like there was fine. It was fine in itself. I didn't have Mike. Mike was sad. You know, Lucas finally had Max, but they had to mourn before in an entire season 5 and most season into season 4. Hopper, who had to mourn death of his daughter, still got Joyce. Like, I feel like it worked out the right way, the way it needed to. So I didn't think it was too much of happy ending. I don't think it was too much of a sad ending. I thought it was pretty real for a fake show. So it was fine.
and let me say this: popping in Prince at that end scene was lit.
Oh, that was
bro. When
awesome.
they played that Prince song, I was like fire.
Purple Rain and When Doves Cry at the end of any show should make it a 10 out of 10.
Automatically.
Yes.
I mean,
Lord.
For one, getting Prince's estate to even agree to it,
right?
The accomplishment is like, because his estate, even Prince, he wasn't giving out his stuff unless he knew it was like quality. You know what I mean? Like, it had to be like the best of the best kind of stuff. So, yeah, for sure. But but I don't know. To me, I felt like what you said earlier, Brian. Like Vecna stayed the bad guy, and he's like, no, I am the villain. You know, between that and everyone living and everyone kind of having a happy life, more or less. It felt very old school to me, and this is a whole 80s kind of movie. So it felt like the bad guy lost, the good guys won. There wasn't a lot lost, like Callie, like she died, but
everyone was like,
oh, like, oh, dang. Brandon was like dancing.
Not me. Like, I kind of felt a little bad, actually.
Really?
When Kali got it, just a little at first. She came across a little more sympathetic on this episode in particular.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But I didn't care about the character. That's so like if I'm comparing to Dustin or to Steve or Hopper, maybe you could have killed Nancy, but so what?
And I always thought that they were gonna do the sympathetic Vecna thing, right? I was saying that for a long time, and then when it came up, I was like, "Oh, you see, it's coming up." And then they flipped it, and he was like, "No, I didn't, resist because I didn't want to." I said, "I was lit." I said, "I'm glad they stuck that." Yeah, I'm glad they stuck it that way.
Yeah, I think the best possible way to do it is because that was a big theory where Vecna was gonna turn on the mind flare and join the kids and kind of thing. And I was like, I'm so glad he goes, nah, humans suck. They all need to die. I'm here for it. And so you're like, oh, you're the bad guy. And then at the end with Winona Ryder, I can't think of her name. Like with the act Joyce just
that was awesome. Oh, like this was my
dope.
kid. That was, because what would any mother want? This is how the show started.
Yeah,
her son was kidnapped, and she was the only one looking for her son. Trying to communicate with him with the lights and everything. It all started with Joyce, so it should end with Joyce going in and killing him, killing the villain who came after your son.
Yeah.
Fire.
Yeah, it was that was such a great, because I wasn't sure. I'm like, because I'm like, oh, he's still alive. Like, how many times this dude needs to die before he stays dead? But then Joyce, looking at him, I'm like, oh, what? I thought he was gonna say something sappy, like, oh, I'm sorry, and she's like, F you. Wow. I was like, nice.
With the axe. That's what I'm talking about.
And it must have been a dull axe or something, because it took her a while. A while.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that was messed up. Yeah. If Will felt Vecna's pain, that would have been messed up.
Like bite down on his belt.
And you know what's funny too, right? Because when they got rid of the Vecna stuff, I looked at the time and I was like, wow, there's still a lot to go in this episode. And then they just wrapped everything up in a perfect bow to where I wasn't even bored with it. I enjoyed to see that they did that with every single character. And I was like, you see, this is the way that you end a series. This is exactly how you do it. If you want to give an epilogue where, you know, you get to feel or see the futures into their stories, go right ahead. I thought it was perfect. Absolutely well done.
Yeah. I see. What's up, Akers?
What's up?
I'm not producing anything, man. Besides like this
What's going
show,
on in
kind of.
The lies. I was gonna say the lies. Look, you guys don't understand. With the beginning, we were doing all this stuff. He was producing all of it. He was producing the sports stuff. He was producing this stuff. The lies he tells you. Don't let him tell me. I know the truth. I'll tell the people. I'll tell you
now
guys all.
it's all Brian.
No, I'm just around everywhere. That's all.
Man. Said facts. Lucas just got his girl back. Him dying would have been messed up. There was no way. He was on no one's kill card.
Yeah.
Like there's no way.
You think you gonna kill the one black kid? Come on, man.
By the way,
And he
Max and Lucas are relationship goals. That's probably my favorite fictional relationship is the two of them.
It actually looked like, because all the other ones looked forced, like it kind of like it just didn't make sense. That worked out. That looked like it was like Lucas and Max looked like, oh yeah, we're gonna be together forever.
Agreed.
Yeah,
agreed. Hey, Lucas almost gave up his life for her. You know what I mean? Like, so I loved it. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. That whole romantic subplot was always my favorite.
Me too.
On the series, it felt the most natural, and you'd think Sadie Sink and Caleb McLaughlin are an actual couple in real life. They play off each other so well. Also, Paramount Pictures rebooting TMNT 2028. I'm just saying Sadie Sink is right there. Cast her as April.
You can't cast her as every redhead. That's the problem. She can't be every redhead. She's already going to be Jean Grey and Madeline Pryor, and she's going to be every redhead we want. She's probably, if I want to say the winners from this show, it's going to be her and the girl that play Holly, because I believe that girl that play Holly is going to be a star. I guarantee to you guys that girl is going to be a star.
Agreed.
Yeah. Those are definitely. I mean, Finn Wolfhard, Mike. He's pretty big in Hollywood, more so behind the camera than in front of the camera. Even though he's coming back to the It franchise, he already said he's coming back to the It franchise. I don't know what, but he's doing that. But behind the camera,
we already saw. He's definitely come back to it.
But I mean, but shit, now he looks like Bill Hader. Like he doesn't look Bill Hader. He's an adult.
He does.
He does kind of look like Bill Hader.
Yes. Yeah. But he's big behind the camera. Like he's been doing a lot of like producing and writing and stuff like that. But yeah, definitely Sadie Sink is gonna be somebody.
I think she's gonna be way bigger than Millie Bobby Brown. I think 100%. We're gonna look at that 10 years away from me, and Sadie Sink is gonna be like going up there for Oscars. and Millie Bobby Brown's gonna have her fourth kid, and they're gonna both be happy for what they're doing. And that's what they. Your goals doesn't have to be my goal.
Yeah. Also, as much as I love the 11 character, Millie Bobby Brown isn't that great of an actress. Like
I agree.
She doesn't have to be. She barely knew words at the beginning.
That's she just had to do the look and eat waffles.
What else do you want her to do? Like, she doesn't have to be this unbelievable actress. She just has to be, stay real good and point. She got it.
That's it.
Hey, listen, that scene where 11 first pops in and she does the jump and then rips open his chest and jump. I thought that was so good. I was like, man, like, I was invested. And when I saw, okay, so first off,
no, we lost it.
My flare, you know what I mean? Right away. So yeah,
Oh,
but I enjoyed.
Hey, we lost you.
I'm still
Yeah,
lagging.
didn't really
I don't
hear
know what's
anything.
going on.
It
Okay.
didn't sound like we
I
were going to
said,
say it was going to be good.
I know
yeah, no,
too,
I
right? He was
was,
hyped.
was saying that the castle.
Oh,
Nope.
sorry, man.
Come back. Let me see.
Come
what's
back.
going
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, all right, wait, no,
No,
but no,
I think what
I-
he was saying was going to
that
make
scene-
a lot of sense. Oh,
yeah, that scene was so great. Like, and it was like
Mhm.
I would give it as one of the most cinematic shots in all of the show. You know, where you have the mind flare and then you have her just running. I was like, okay, that's pretty good, man. That was a pretty
and then
good
she's
shot.
jumping up and dude, it was so good. Like they did a great job with this damn show. I hate people being hating just for no reason. Don't hate just to hate. Give me some good reasons. That if you want to tell me that you feel like some of the characters should have been around more, fine. If you thought that Erica Sinclair should have been there, cool, But I thought that it's obvious that she is too smart to be caught up in all this stuff, so she wouldn't be in no damn Dungeons and Dragons thing because she's gonna be too smart. She could be a fucking genius. Like she's gonna rule. She could go run for a congresswoman. I think that's what her future's gonna have. So I didn't think that she needed to be there, and then her working with Dustin and Dustin doing what he did at the graduation was perfect for him.
Oh.
All those things were perfect for the character.
Well, he did what Eddie said he wanted to do. He said he was gonna snatch the diploma, flip the bird off to the principal, this and that. So it was like it was such a good tribute to Eddie, and it was especially more of a thing where like if you know, you know. So yeah, I thought that was great.
And I even looked at it as a callback to like 80s like John Hughes films.
Yes.
The references to a lot of 80s cinema was prominent throughout, and what better way to end it, and who better for that monologue to come from than Dustin.
Yeah, 100%. Are you good, Anzo?
Are you good?
I think so. Am I?
You're frozen.
You're frozen, but you sound
I am
good.
frozen?
Yeah, you sound good though.
Okay, as long as you can hear me. I have no idea what's going on right now, but this thing is acting up tonight.
At least you're not making a face on the frozen screen.
What was I saying?
The scene where she jumps through the chest.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was saying I knew that the mind flare was the castle, right? Like when you seen it upside down, like that looks like the mind flare. So I knew that. But when it did the thing and transformed and came around, I was like, yo, I thought that was fire. Now I do agree that I think
I was
they
using the AOL dial-up service.
Hang up the phone. Who's on the phone?
There's a fax machine, guys. That's what it was. Someone faxed him something. I was supposed to run some fax.
I do think that the battle was a little bit too quick, but I was okay with it. I thought it was good. I still enjoyed it.
Yeah. I saw Cousin T said the same thing, and that's a legitimate, I think, like argument where you're like, it should have been longer, but I didn't have too much of an issue with it because now he kind of split his mind into two, whereas the mind flare and Vecna. So, they're all messing with the mind flare, and then obviously he's gonna feel it. So,
yeah, I mean, there's only them two, and we've already introduced the idea that both Will and 11 have powers too. So, like, if that's the case, and then everyone else has the outside stuff with guns and flamethrowers and all that stuff, I just felt like that it was too much.
Yeah, he's fighting two battles.
Yeah, you can't fight on both ends. Yeah, now they're one.
Yeah, agreed. And I see a lot of people were complaining about that being too quick, and I'm like, but it kind of makes sense, right? We gotta get to the end of the series. We gotta wrap it up all in a nice little bow. So it kind of made sense that it was just like, all right, we see the battle. It's a bunch of them. The power of friendship. Right, we heard that before, right? Power of friendship against the big baddie, so it makes sense that they did it like that. Could they have done a little bit more? 100%. But man, that budget must have been sky high just for that scene alone. So,
Right.
Oh, what's up? Was it?
Post
You know,
show depression phase.
Also,
Also, I believe.
I was just
I
saying.
think that's what I'm going to title this. This like, I believe.
Wait. Question. So, Brandman, do you believe that she's alive or dead?
You know, I'd like to believe that she is alive, but you know, I kind of don't quite see how she could be. You know what? No, let me walk that back. I'm kind of half and half on that. I think she could be alive. I know that like on one hand, like you said, or like you guys said earlier, if she did survive, why wouldn't she go and find Mike? But at the same time, I see it kind of being a tough decision for her to make because people are always going to be kind of pursuing her. So I'm kind of towing the line on that.
you see, here's the thing.
You're not sure.
And here's the thing I'll say with that, right? Because you're right. If she goes and looks for him, but she could go in the bath, right? She could have gotten in the bath and communicated with him that way if she was alive. So I don't know.
Exactly.
But if she's trying to stay hidden, and then also with the upside, is her power attached to the upside down? Because if the upside down is gone, does she still have the power?
She has to have power because that's the whole reason they still want her, right?
Yeah,
they want to breed her.
Mm-hmm.
So she still has to have some type of power.
Yeah. With him.
You know, because if that's the case, then she wouldn't be nothing. She would just be, whatever. You know, she should just not killed herself. But I do find it interesting that she didn't like explode or anything like that. You just saw she just wasn't there. She wasn't affected by the wind or any of that stuff. That's all very interesting. You know, so you know that these are things. But Tate, do you believe?
I believe. It just like I get the whole thing not trying to contact Mike, you know, but also I feel like if you're in that situation, because knowing like if I do contact this person, I'm just gonna put them more in danger, you know. So staying far away, you know, and then her
forever
be you know, but also like her being able to live her life, you know, and like that whole speech she had with Hopper, where he's like or one of the speeches, you know, she's like, you're gonna grow up and have kids and see your own kids and have a daughter, blah blah blah. I was like, oh, it was like such a great speech, you know, and for a person who just wanted to be normal her whole life, you know, here's her a chance to be normal, you know.
See, I took that different as you. I took that as foreshadowing as one of them's gonna die. That's what I took that scene, because whenever they usually have those tender moments like that, you know someone is going to die. So I was like, I think I thought it was gonna be Harper, but it ended up being Elle. But I love the scene where Vecna tricked Harper and thought he shot Elle. That was so, because I was fooled. I was like, oh, this is where we're going. And then it ended up being like a dream. But I thought that was so good. It got me.
Yeah. If I thought anyone was gonna bite it, it was definitely Hopper, because he was kind of at the end of his rope, and the dude was kind of ready to die, it seemed. So I thought going in that Hopper was finally gonna bite it.
It makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, he was wanting to too. You know, he wanted to, you know, kind of be with his daughter. Yeah. You know, and die to protect her, kind of thing. You know, but yeah.
But now that
I wonder, I personally believe, because I don't think she died there. I don't think she died. I don't think the way that she died there. You know, but I do believe it. If we could have fast forward further in life, I could see her recontacting Mike, especially if Mike is in a place right now where he's never going to love anybody else. That trauma, there's no one in there he's on ever love ever again. So you know,
at least not like her.
Well, I don't even think he would ever open himself up to it again. because they were together. This is a long time, 5-6 years of them together. There's no one, and all the trauma that goes along with the relationship, there's no one that will live up to the idea of who she is. So I don't even think that he will even open himself up to allowing that to happen ever again. And so if that's the case, Mike will never be happy if she's alive and doesn't contact him. He might have a terrible life.
Yeah.
Like literally, who can ever match up to that? He will never be able to be with anyone, and he won't even be able to settle.
Yeah. She ruined him. But
no,
I could
personally.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No,
I was
go
gonna say, I personally think that she's dead. Right? I said that earlier. Because it just the way the conversations were. A lot of the conversations were had me believing that she was actually dead. Right? But now you could, and I started thinking about when Brian was talking. You could actually say, well, she did survive. It's just not the way that Mike told the story, right? So he still doesn't know she's alive. He's just still doing that, but she actually did survive. So you could do something like that. But for me, I like the fact that they did like if she would have survived, she would have survived. But I like the fact that they actually did say, she died and showed that she died or whatever, and then made Mike kind of cope with it by creating his own story to cope with her death. So I like that, and I hope they stick with that, right? But they could change it. There's supposed to be a spin-off coming, so
this is the Inception spinning top.
Yeah.
Let this be let it spin, and let's not talk about it. And everyone can believe what they want to believe, and let it be that way.
Yeah,
I agree.
You know, but I will say this: there's something I did not necessarily love. I was so tired of Nancy Wheeler. And you tell me we want to spin off? I was done with her. Like, dude, she's the most overrated kid. I mean, what are you guys fighting over? Steve, come on, man.
Is she getting a spin off?
Talking about her having her own detective type of thing. That was the talks of her getting a spinoff of that. I don't care about her.
Yeah,
that's what she said. I left college Emerson. I left Emerson to go and become a reporter. And she was like, I don't care about her.
Like, cool, but yeah, she's not.
Yeah.
One thing I'll say too is, like, I know Joyce ended up getting to cut off Vecna's head at the end, which was fire. But at one point, I didn't even realize she was in that fight with them. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't show her like in that fight with them. I was like, wait, where's Joyce? When they went to the montage of them, trying to take care of like, she's not there. Like, you see Lucas, you see Mike, you see Will, you see all of them doing something, and Joyce isn't there. And then all of a sudden, Joyce popped up, and I was like, oh, yeah, she didn't really have much to do in this episode. She got to do the killing at the end, but other than that, she did not do nothing. I completely forgot about her.
I think I don't think Will was in that, because remember, Will stopped, like, as they were walking. Will stopped, and he was getting like the visions, and then Joyce stayed with Will.
Stayed with him. Yeah, stayed with him.
So I don't think either of them were in that big mind flare battle. And then they just showed up.
But then all of a sudden, he had the eyes, and he saw through the mind flare. He was able to then do it.
Like, stop what's his name. Yeah. So that was Joyce was Will. Yeah. Because they came later. Yeah, she really didn't do much.
You know what I mean? So
she really wasn't even in this episode that much.
She was at the end.
Just at the end, which
listen, she got the killing blow. She deserved that, right? She deserved that. That was her family.
You start with her, you gotta end with her.
Yeah. Especially like this show was. I remember when the show came out, it was pitched as the new Winona Ryder show. You know what I mean? It was like I thought she was gonna be the main character. Everything was gonna revolve around her, and it was. I mean, season 1. Kind of, but she wound up not being the main character. Like, you cared more about the kids.
The kids grew up. The kids became good actors. Like, they I think when they realized that Elle wasn't going to be able to carry the show, they brought another female in there, and now she was a good actress, and now she's gonna blow up. Like, that's what you got. Like, I feel like they did the right way.
Yeah, they did. I mean, and then you still gave her the like you said, the final blow, like
Mm-hmm.
the person that was promised the show who kind of didn't really get it, but
Mm-hmm.
She
I
made
gave
her money.
her I was
She
gonna say
made
I gave her a job for the past 10 years or whatever, however long the show's been out. So
Facts.
yeah, because she was like the only person on this show. There's been a
in
few
the
cameos
beginning.
and stuff like that. Yeah,
Mhm.
but she was like the only big name, because
Mhm.
the guy who plays Hopper, he wasn't famous until more recently.
And
He is
yeah.
now.
Yeah, now he is. Now he's Marvel movies, everything. So
Mhm.
yeah.
But now
But
you know these names. You know
Mhm.
David Harbour, right? You know Sadie Sink. You know Caleb McLaughlin. You know Finn Wolfhard. Like we know these names. So I
Mhm.
think that's interesting and seeing where they go from it. You know Joseph Quinn, right? These guys. This show is going to.
Mhm.
I'm gonna guess we're gonna look back at this. This might be like the Breakfast Club, because we now have all these stars that came from this show.
Mhm.
I
You
can see
look back
that.
in time and say, like, oh man, there was 9-10 people that we now know about that all came from Stranger Things.
I could see
I can see
that.
that.
I could.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I think a lot of the actors and actresses did a great job in this show. You know what I mean? Like acting wise, and I could see them in a lot of other things. So yeah, and to
Mhm.
me, I think the ending was perfect, right? So now you have that on top of these actors, right? People are gonna be like, "Oh, you were from Stranger Things. Let's get him in this movie." So yeah, 100%, they're gonna pop off.
Oh yeah. Especially if you can get like two of them in a movie together, like
Mhm.
that's gonna cause a big buzz. Like, oh my god, like Stranger Things reunion. That type of stuff. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're gonna get that, right?
Yeah,
I think the one thing I feel, I have a feeling that Caleb somehow is gonna get ended up being in the MCU.
Mm.
ooh,
I feel that somehow Caleb's gonna end up in the MCU.
Mhm.
I could see that.
Yeah,
I'd be fine with it.
they're going to find a way for that to happen. And maybe it's not Miles Morales. Maybe what if it's Spider Punk? What if it's that? What if they do that iteration of something? I just feel that you can do something with him and have him interact in that way.
Yeah. Okay. Have him bulk up, be Cable.
B Bishop.
Be Bishop.
Yeah.
I'm Bishop. I mean,
Bishop.
He
Cable.
want to really book. He have to meet me on Monday through Friday in the gym to be able to get him to Bishop.
Yeah.
But yeah,
He
I
said,
would like to see him in other things, though. You know what I mean? I think he was he was great in the show. I think he's a good actor. Sadie Sink, she's gonna be in there, so I would like to see them more. Like that's what I am like when. That's why sometimes when we talk about movies, it's like let's get an unknown in there, right? See what they can do with the character, and maybe propel an unknown actor to levels that he probably wouldn't have got to if he got that role. So I like the idea of bringing in nobodies, like you don't know them, to do certain roles. So not saying these guys are nobodies, but when it comes to big screen adaptations, they're not really, you know what I mean? They're all TV stuff. So put them in big screen, see what they could do.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I want to go to a couple comments I missed a little earlier. Delta Dan said, I wasn't expecting the win for the kids to happen so quick, so I thought it was over, and we had like 40 plus minutes of wrap up. Loved it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Everyone got their ending. Everyone got their ending, and I thought that was probably for the best way to do it.
Except Mike. Mike
Yeah.
he got screwed over.
Mhm.
Well, no, I mean he said he like it made it seem like he's gonna write a lot.
Yeah, he's gonna be a
Yeah.
he's gonna be a book
like a
writer.
writer,
Mhm.
a storyteller. So
Yeah. And then he's gonna go out to some secluded place, and then he's gonna see while he's sitting there drinking tea in the middle of whatever, he'll see Els
And
will come in
11's gonna
next
show.
to him,
Mhm.
that's what I was thinking too. I was like, he's gonna be like 70, famous book writer, writing or script writer for movies and shit like that, and then like travel the world and like, oh look, this place has 3 waterfalls.
Mhm.
Goes
and
and
he's gonna
sees
see an
out.
old 11.
Oh man,
coming
oh
in.
yeah. Like, and then he
And-
gets pissed, dies from a heart attack.
And it's funny that you said that, because that's another reason why I kind of had a feeling like, he was just making up the story, because there was only 2 waterfalls, right? In his story at the beginning, it was like, oh, 3 waterfalls in there. When she got there, was only 2 waterfalls, right?
Yeah.
So it made me think that it's not really real what we're looking at. So
yeah. I mean, he even said it. He goes like, "Oh, I should have did something more real rather than like, this like real, fake place with 3 waterfalls, blah blah blah."
Yes.
So,
yeah.
And what if I told you the 11, because she had got a warrior's death and she was granted access into Valhalla, and what she really was in Valhalla. That's what really going on. And so she went into heaven, and her heaven was the thing that Mike told her in her mind, and that's what she thought. I need to go somewhere with the 3 waterfalls. So her own personal heaven was in Valhalla. It was the three waterfalls. What if I say that?
I'm down.
I like that. That's funny. I like that. Tony said it's sad because 11 knew if she defeated Vecna, she would never have a normal life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's true.
Like the government would keep coming after her.
Yep.
It's the real villain, guys. The real villain is the Vecna, the government.
Oh, facts. 100%.
Yeah. Said Nika said I went to the theater to see it last night. Everyone in the theater was clapping at the end of the film. At the end of the film. Yeah. That's what I heard. People were saying like so much like when Derek, gave the little finger and said, suck it.
Oh yeah,
Vecna.
suck my chubby. Yes.
Yeah. I heard people in the theaters were losing their mind, just like going crazy. So that'd have been fun.
100%. I was dying when he said that at home too. Rewinded it again. I thought it was funny.
I was like, perfect time to be asshole. Derek. Yeah,
dipshit Derek.
Dipshit. There you go. I couldn't think of it. Yeah. So here, before we get going, did you guys have any issues with it? Like, was there something like? Okay. Because we all love it, we all like it and stuff. But were there any like problems where you're like, I wish they done this? What you think, Anzo?
No, like that's what I'm saying. Like when Brian's like, I'm a little biased, I'm like, I think I am too, because I didn't have a problem with it. And I'm watching all these videos where people having problems with like the emotional moments, and I'm like, no, that was great. That stuff was really good, and it made sense that you're going to have these emotional moments before a big fight, because you don't know what the outcome of this fight is going to be. You may not see that person forever after that, right? So I enjoyed all of that. And then I seen someone complaining about it was when Will was doing the Vecna stuff, and he was trying to talk to Vecna, and they're like, oh, why are you talking to him? Because they were trying to convince him, but when he couldn't, he snapped off Vecna's arm, right? Exactly. So it's not like
yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like some of the complaints I was listening to, and I did not understand them. I think some of the complaints are people just wanting to complain about certain things, because we've had so many shows that have ended and have not hit the landing. Like a lot of them have not hit the landing, and this show did what it was supposed to do to hit the landing. So I had no issues with it whatsoever.
Okay. What about you, Brian? Any issues?
I didn't care about Nancy. I didn't care about the whole Nancy, breaking up and all that stuff.
With the shoulder pad jacket.
Why did she look just like she was Rambo? Oh my God. I couldn't believe. I was like, why are you dressed exactly like Rambo for real the entire time? Like, I did not care about her. I didn't see her as any leader at all. So I was like, whatever. But she was there, not there. I didn't really care. Jonathan being them deciding they're going to meet every month, no matter what. I thought that was kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. That's one thing. If the main cast said that we were going to meet for every month, I thought that was fine. The others, I was like, whatever. But that's not a complaint. It's just like me saying, whatever. I didn't care, but they didn't resonate much with me.
Yeah, they were the secondary group.
Yeah. So like they were tertiary, because I was really more in the Jim and Joyce, with David Harbour and Winona Ryder. Like those were like, I cared more about their lives than I cared about the ancillary. I liked Steve, I liked Robin, but that's I really didn't care anything about Nancy. Nancy could have been there or not been there, and I wouldn't have cared not at all. And Jonathan, there's scenes where he was there. I was like, oh man, who the hell is that? Like, so I, but that's more about the character overall, and that has nothing to do about the finale, really. So I really don't. It is what it is. I think I enjoyed the finale so much that I just don't have any complaints.
Yeah. Okay. What about you, Brian, man? Any issues?
I didn't have any glaring issues. I think that I do agree with Brian that Nancy could have been completely omitted or her scenes cut, and it probably wouldn't have made a whole lot of difference. Same with to an extent, same with Jonathan, but they're necessary characters just because they were there from the beginning. So I get it. But that's not anything again. That's not anything about Natalia Dyer's acting or Joe Keery's acting. They were both very serviceable.
It's the character.
It's the characters. They were just such a non-presence, I thought. That's what I thought.
Lauren said, hey, 20 people didn't need to be in the upside down. Yeah, there's a lot of people in there, man. There's a lot of people. Yeah.
We had a truck full. They had the kids. Where are the seatbelts? That's my complaint. Where are the seatbelts with these kids in the back of the truck?
Yeah. Seatbelts in the 80s? What? Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I didn't have anything that really like glaringly stuck out where I'm like, oh man, why didn't they do this? I'm not like a diehard fan, so I'm sure like some diehard people I saw online, it's like, well, blah, blah, blah is still in jail and we didn't get anything more about him or this or that. I was like, I'm cool with that. I don't care, do much. People are like, oh, what's going to happen with Linda Hamilton's character in the military? I'm like, she's in the military. She's going to
go back to being the douche?
Yeah, go find out another, she's going to go team up with the dude from It, Madarian, do some other stupid shit.
Well, she's going to, give birth to John Connor, and then she's going to go Terminator.
It's the alternate Terminator universe. Yeah, I mean, so I was like, yeah, I didn't really have like anything that stuck out where I was like, oh, that's a major plot hole, because for me, I was like, yeah, I get they had to finish everything, so like, a character they talked about in like season 1, like whatever, I don't care about them. So
or characters that we just got in this season, like why do we care about where their ending is? Like, I don't care what happened to Linda Hamill after it. I didn't care. One thing I will say though is when they got to the abyss, right? The abyss, when they got up there, how did they know where to go to find the mind flare? You know what I mean? Like that was the part I was like,
in the desert.
Yeah, they just walk in and they come across it. I was like, okay, that's a little bit, but I get it.
Yeah.
The only one that had been there at that time was Max, right?
Yeah. So how did they...
that was it. It was just Max and technically Holly.
Well, I guess they had Will, right? Will would be like
he could feel where Vecna is.
Vecna detector or whatever, maybe. Yeah. Maybe, I don't know. They really didn't explain it. But that's just movie.
Yeah, movie stuff, whatever. It's nothing to make me complain.
Yeah.
But those are the little things that certain people are complaining about. And I'm like, just enjoy it for what it is. We see stuff like that all the time in movies. So why are we now going to use this against the Stranger Things finale when they do it all the time? I don't like that.
Yeah. I'm bringing up the mind flare. There's one thing I wanted to ask you guys that I forgot to ask earlier was, did you mind the redesign, I guess, of the mind flare from previous seasons to this season? Like they didn't really tell you why he looked so different from the previous seasons to this season, where he looks very,
you talking about Vecna or
the mind flare? The mind flare. we've seen the Mind Flayer before. It was kind of like a shadow silhouette kind of thing, and he wasn't all spiky like that. He had like a longer head, kind of look, stuff like that. So I know I did see some people complain about that online, like, oh, why did they redesign it? It was like,
they redesigned Vecna, so why would you care about even redesigning the Mind Flayer?
Like how did the Mind Flayer die or this or that? I was like, make up a story. Be like Mike. Make up a story in your head.
And then watch the show, because it tells you that he says we are one, right? We're together. So you kill one, you kill the other, right? And that's what I liked about it.
I didn't think about that.
So when one died, the other one died. And that's actually what Weekend Vecna was, them hurting the Mind Flayer in that world.
Yes,
that's what
100%. And not to mention the fact that, when we were talking about them being together, they say, oh, if you hurt one, we hurt the other because of the hive mind, right?
They said it. They explained it in the show.
Yes. And they also said that, one wasn't controlling the other. It wasn't like that. The Mind Flayer wasn't controlling Vecna. Vecna wasn't controlling the Mind Flayer. They were pretty much linked together. Like, watch the show, guys. It tells you.
He said they chose it. He said, I'm his vessel. That we're together.
Yes.
We're the one.
Yes.
We're one and the same. He didn't trick me. Like,
yeah. That's us from Mama Bear. She goes, if Hanzo was telling you just enjoy, you're acting goofy. You're really wrong.
Yes, I tell people to enjoy things all the time, just not the Nolan Batman movies. All right, that's what I'm saying.
That's a step too far.
The hate comes back, guys. There it is.
That's what we need to make a clip. It's like, good, embrace your hatred. Get that clip.
I love that.
Yeah. But man, unless you guys got anything else, I can't think of anything else. We kind of touched on a lot of it.
This is 9 years in the making, guys. I mean, it started in 2016. It's now officially 2026. Like, this was a long time in the making. They needed to have extra time at the end to show what happens to people's lives.
Facts.
That was perfect. And then we're complaining about things that it would have made it 2.5 hours. This would have been a 3-hour month. You were never going to get everything you wanted out of it. I think they did a great job with storytelling. This was not a Game of Thrones ending. This was not this doesn't make any damn sense. They stayed true to the characters. So at the end of the day, shut up and enjoy it.
Agreed. That's right. I like something, guys. All right. There's a show out there that I like. All right, just so you know.
We need the confetti to come out from the side.
We've been waiting. Yes, we did it.
Fireworks and confetti.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, and also the main story is done, but we're gonna get spin-offs. The Duffer Brothers already said the stone in the briefcase that we saw on this is that's gonna be important to the spin-offs. We're getting the cartoon animated side story kind of stuff coming shortly as well. So we're done with the main story, but we're not done with this universe yet. So we're still gonna get a lot more stuff, which I'm interested in. I want to see.
It's going to be interesting. And I told you that we had the Nancy. She's going to have the thing. It's going to be her and Robin trying to figure out what happened in the town in between season 4 and 5. That, like, all that stuff is going to be interesting, and we're going to have those spinoffs in. We'll enjoy it.
And I heard one of the spinoffs they're supposed to have is in the same universe, but totally like different town, different kids, and everything like that. So I would love to see how they tie something like that into the original show. So I'm down. Give me more Stranger Things.
Yeah, for sure. So the last 40 minutes epilogue, people can't handle happy endings. I think that's what it is. People want death to feel satisfied, and it's just happy ending.
I love epilogues because I like lit RPG. Like, I enjoy that, and have an epilogue at the end of a story wraps it all up. The things that you followed characters for a long time, you feel like you know them. Not the that's actors, you know the characters, and you want to know what actually happened. At the end of Harry Potter, if you didn't have that little stuff at the end, people will lose their damn mind. Like you need to know a little bit about what's going on in the future, just to ease your love for them, because you're going to be missing. Like that's a friend that I'm no longer going to have. This did it. It did it well, and I'm happy with it.
Me too.
Exactly. All right. So we'll finish that there. We'll get into some more comments in a little bit, but I think we're going to end that there. But yeah, man, we appreciate all you guys coming in, hanging out with us. We appreciate Anzo coming in, letting us know what you think about the Stranger Things finale. So, but despite what the internet says, we all liked it. We all liked it a lot. So definitely a very fitting ending, like Brian said. But we want to hear from you guys, because I know some of you guys in chat really didn't like it either. So if you're watching on replay, leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think about this finale. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Any cool theories? Do you believe? We want to know. And make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button right down there, and come and join us when we do other TV reviews like this one, trailer reactions, movie reviews, other fun, nerdy stuff. Appreciate all you guys coming in the live chat. We want you guys to stick around, because we're going to move on to our next topic for the night.